Yeah.
The music video I plan to produce is for the band Hollow Lights. They're a band local to Medway consisting of 4 boys all studying at the Bishop of Rochester Academy. The name of the song they've chosen to use for the music video is Friday Night. The song is about the feeling of Friday, so having like a long week at work, being stressed out and then getting to Friday and being able to go out with your friends, just relax and have a laugh. The target audience for this song is teenagers, both male and female. The theme within the song is quite fitting for the target audience because that sort of age understand the feeling of when it gets to Friday, it's the weekend, they get to relax, no more school, so it will be appealing for that target audience. I have a list of keywords that I think sum up what I plan to produce, like my concept. Live, audience, point of view, atmosphere, realistic, personality, close-ups and introduction. I think they sum up basically what I want to produce. The concept that I have is typical for the rock genre. A lot of music videos such as Closer to the Edge by 30 Seconds to Mars and I Don't Care, This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things by The Blackout both feature the theme that I want to use within my music videos, so I think they'll appeal to fans of that genre because they'll recognise it as being what they like. What I plan to produce is a music video showing the band playing live. I'll attend one or more, if possible, of their actual live performances and just film it straight off. I think that it will show the audience what the band are like because not many people will have heard of them before. So it will show how they are as a band playing live and it will show them for real, not just staging it, not just pretending to be playing, actually playing. And having the audience there as well will kind of give like a reinforcement for the people watching the music video. Because if you have just a band playing and no one watching it, for the audience watching the music video it's kind of like, okay, so they're on their own. If you're watching a band playing to an audience, the audience loving it, they're jumping around, they're singing along, that reinforces the popularity of the band to the person watching the music video, and I think that that is something that will benefit an up-and-coming band because then it will show them as being already popular, so then people will be watching it like, why haven't I heard of these guys before? All of these people have, so I should be listening to them as well. But I think that if it's possible, I will film more than one of their performances to allow for me to have cutaways in case there are any jump cuts. The only problem with that is that the band will have to be wearing different clothes and it will have to be sort of different footage because if you have them in the same clothes but the venue's all different, it's just going to look a mess. But so long as they're wearing different things, it will make sense in terms of the music video because there are a lot of music videos that just use live footage, just chopped up of different shows that they've done. So I think it will be possible to do. I just need to maintain contact with the band and just confirm with them all the dates that they're playing and ones that I will be available to attend. So why this? Why not narrative? The band have said that they don't feel comfortable acting. They wouldn't want to be put into a narrative themselves. But I think if I was to hire actors, the audience will create a link between the actors' faces and the music rather than the band and the music. I think for a new band, that isn't what they deserve. They deserve to have themselves shown rather than having someone pretending to do something or pretending to be them in a music video. And I think that having the band and actors could get confusing as well because you'll be looking and thinking, so which one of these guys is a band? Is it these guys or is it the actors? So I think having the band just playing straight out is good for an introduction to them because it shows what they are really like and it isn't anyone else pretending to be them, it's just them straight out, no like gimmicks or anything like that. The equipment I plan to use, I mentioned in my treatment, studio cameras are not feasible for this performance. I'll be moving around, there'll be a lot of people there and I don't want to risk both the quality of the footage and the camera itself because I don't want like cables trailing everywhere, I don't want people to trip up, I don't want people to knock the camera because I know they're big, they're expensive and they're going to be in the way and I don't want people to have that as a risk and I don't want to risk damaging the cameras. That being said, they do produce good quality footage. However, the handheld Panasonic cameras are just as good, but they're slightly smaller, they're easier to set up, they're easier to move around, they'll be less of a hazard and they will be less of a risk, so I won't risk damaging them. I don't need to bring any sound equipment because I'll be overlaying the pre-recorded song on the music video, so having to worry about sound will be fine. I'm going to hire a one-man crew. This person will be the person that I got in contact with the band through. They will help me transport and set up. They will help me. There'll be kind of like just a second opinion. If I have a shot I'm not sure about, they can help me decide, because I'd rather have someone there just giving me a bit of a hand than me just think, okay, I'm going to do this, and it ends up being terrible. So I'd rather have that person there just as safety for me, knowing that if I do need help, I do have someone there, and I don't have to disturb someone in the audience to be like, oh, can you help me do this quickly, does this look alright, and disturb their enjoyment of the show as well. I know that lighting will be a problem. I will manually set up all of the settings on the camera. I'm going to get Pete to show me how to do everything, so aperture, all the white balance, everything, just to make sure that it does look okay, and then I'll set it up while I'm in the venue. I can use colour correction in post-production as well, just to ensure that it does look high quality. I also have locations. My locations will be the venues that the band are playing at. They can get me permission because they have contacted the owner of the venues through organising their gig, so they can get me the permissions that way, so I don't need to worry about that because they can help me out with that. And I think that's about it.
Okay. All right. Just a few questions. So it's all going to be band based. It's going to be as live. Okay. You say you're not going to have any audio. So you're not going to have any sound recording. You're going to put the audio in afterwards. Okay. Do you think that's going to be absolutely spot on?
I hope it will, but I know that there will be risks with that.
Because then, I mean, it can be. I mean, if they do a solo, it could just be a slight.
Yeah.
Right. Now, it works if, I mean, the way it doesn't work is whenever it's on their mouth all of the time.
Yeah.
And then that's going to pick up so much. So you need to be thinking about a variety of different shots that
that's
don't
why I
pick
thought
up
of
lip sync.
filming more than one show, because if I was filming all one show, I'd have to make sure it's all in sync. But obviously, if I stop recording to move the camera, I'll miss a whole chunk. If I have other shows, I can take the time to get close-ups of like just hands on the guitar, so it doesn't matter as much if they're in sync, and like close-ups of drumming and stuff like that. Because if I have one show and I'm moving about the whole time, trying to get all these different shots, in the end, I'm going to have probably only like half a minute of footage, and it won't be in sync. If I have other shows and other shots, then I will be covered.
Because even solo of instruments as well, you know, that there is, it's not lip sync, but it still has to be matched up. Because you're going to be moving around different shows and you're going to be clipping it all together, do you not think that will look a bit messy?
I shouldn't think it will, because in post-production I'll try and make sure that everything does look the same. So stuff like lighting, the kind of brightness of the shot, I will always make sure that maintains the same, so it will literally just be what they're wearing and the venue that looks different. And I know that a lot of rock music videos do that as well, so it should be alright.
So it's going to be just made up of different shows. Okay. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'd quite like to see a video where you mentioned about how different rock bands particularly use different venues and then cut between them, etc.
I will get shots of the audience as well as some form of cutaways. I'll have to put signs up on the entrance saying I'm filming. If you have any problems, come and speak to either me or the owner of the venue. But a lot of the shots I'll try and get will be like behind shots, because I know a lot of shows people like, yeah, so you can get a lot of shots from behind everyone, not get anyone's faces, but you can still get like their reactions, like hands in the air and jumping around and stuff.
I think if you do this here, okay, I think it does need to have some sort of narrative to it, but it can be a narrative about the band itself, okay? So it's about how the band, basically, it's, you know, some backstage stuff. It's about how to get ready, some documentary footage sort of thing, and then it brings into the band, and they're coming off and maybe they're interacting with the audience and things like that there, then you've actually got a story that you're telling made up of, and it's a story that brings together all of these different venues. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense, yeah.
See, I think if you had something there that
like
just...
fly on the wall kind of thing backstage,
And something that it will then gel everything together and make everything make sense. I think if you're just doing like different venues randomly and then trying to put it all together, I think you could end up with something that could look quite messy.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you just think about ways in which you can actually gel it together, maybe doing some documentary footage, you are already going to do some stuff for the audience, and I think that's important. So it's a story of the band and how they interact with their audience.
Yeah.
All right, the majority of the footage is going to be the band on stage sort of thing, but then that gives it a lot more interest.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It covers for like cutaways and stuff as well, and jump cuts. Yeah.
Okay. I think you've more or less covered it, everything. That was the big thing that I was concerned about. Locations you've covered. You will be able to get permissions. Yes. You don't need actors. And that was the only other thing in terms of your relationship with this band, because obviously, because you're going to need them quite a bit. You need to have a really good relationship with them, because obviously everyone's very busy and they'll maybe not want you to be there all of the time. So you need to think about having a very good relationship with the band, and whenever you need to do something, you do it and get it done out of the way and get it filmed. Yeah. Those are the two things I would say.
Okay.